This is Chris Hero, and you're watching WGS-TV.
You have worked your way into another episode of WGS-TV right here on YouTube.com/WrestleGamer. I'm the WrestleGamer, WB Billy Boudreaux, and this is going to be the Monday Night Raw review for the week of April 13th, 2015. Raw from the UK this week, guys and gals. So interesting crowd to talk about, to say the least. But anyway, let me go ahead and introduce the panel for this week's Monday Night Raw review. First off, ladies and gentlemen, he's our resident music mogul over on YouTube.com/Lance Moss TV. He is the incomparable Lance Moss. Lance, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Let's have some fun.
The master of the Who Dat Temple is here. It's James from the Big Easy. James, how you doing? As James probably isn't there right now, and yes, ladies and gentlemen, he is the Bay Area MVP, known as Will. Will, what's up?
The only thing I gotta say is,
yes, ladies and gentlemen, well, what that means is, if you don't know what that means, then you haven't been following wrestling the past couple of years. But anyway, let's go ahead and start talking about Monday Night Raw, opening up with John Cena. Now, one thing, by the way, guys, if you turned into the live commentary last night, I appreciate it, and I thank you for that. And one thing I did say on there that I do stand by is, you know, despite what the haters have to say about John Cena, his position in the company, his name, and what he can do can actually bring some legitimacy back to the United States Championship. And Lance, one of the things I absolutely love, that's also a key critical thing for them to make that championship legitimate again in the wrestling industry, is what they're doing with it right now, defending it on every show, every week. That is a smart idea, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of, since he's supposed to be a face, he's kind of doing a heel tactic, but whatever works in this new entertainment wrestling brand, whatever the hell we're calling it now. But yeah, because correct me if I'm wrong, isn't traditionally the open challenge thing kind of a heel tactic?
I'm not sure, to be honest. I've never really predominantly associated an open challenge with heel tactics. But it's still a very interesting thing to do. Now, I do like the fact that they brought Brand New Barrett out there to accept the challenge. But, you know, I kind of thought, you know, they're going to have a match between Cena and Rusev at Extreme Rules, James. It was almost highly illogical for them to drop the title off of Cena if they're still going to build between that. But they still had a really good match for that United States Championship.
exactly, and it was an awesome match, you know, a great 10-minute match, and basically it's like, you know, Cena's, let's say this, when he's been holding that U.S. title, he's been doing good matches. So, and I'm not surprised at the end of after the match activities.
James, the Divas Battle Royal. Talk about that.
Let's say this. I'm kind of surprised they gave it to Paige, but at the same time, if you look at it, Naomi, I mean, people criticize Naomi. Lance is saying bad stuff about Naomi. Listen, she's an underrated.
Wait a minute. Wait just a damn minute now. I just said I didn't get it.
Okay, listen. You don't get it. Okay, let me explain it clearly. All right. Naomi's an underrated talent, just to have no character. I'm surprised they gave it to Paige, but at the same time, if you think about it, they keeping Paige in the title picture while she's out filming a movie, while at the same time they keep bringing up Naomi. So basically, whenever Paige comes back, that Divas Championship match could become a triple threat.
Very could well. It very could well be. Following the Divas Battle Royal, we'd have the Lucha Dragons and the Ascension. Now, would this match be anywhere as good as the NXT Tag Team Championship match they had between these two teams not too long ago? I think it was back at the first takeover, I think back in November. I think they might have had this match, if I'm not mistaken. And no, it was nowhere near as good as that match. Nowhere near. In fact, it was basically the Lucha Dragons squashing the Ascension in a sense. They really just made the Ascension look bad. And again, I just don't agree with what WWE is doing with them on the main roster. Knowing their history and knowing what the Ascension has done dominantly in NXT, they bring them to the main roster and they make them look like a bunch of wimps. And I don't understand that, and I don't agree with the creative decision to do that. They could have had this match be just as good as what they did for the NXT Tag Team Championship, and yet it was just a squash match to put Lucha Dragons over. Now, I'm not going to disagree with the fact that Lucha Dragons need to be over, but the fact of the matter is they could have had a more entertaining match than what they did. That's my problem with it, and that's my issue with it. Will, I want to ask you this question. Why is there so much hatred for Roman Reigns?
Okay, and, this goes all the way back to August of last year for those who keep looking at the articles and, and it just led up to the Royal Rumble. Now, all of us here watch Royal Rumble, correct? Everybody
Yes.
here watch Royal Rumble?
Yes.
I did. You remember when he came out at 15?
Yes.
That was his number, 15. Now, keep that
16.
in mind. Now, 15, 16, who gives a damn? Bottom line is, and we could debate about this all day, but we don't have time for that. Clearly, he is not ready. Why is WWE pushing someone who has barely had enough time in the position he is now for the belt? Now, as far as Barry's question is concerned, very, very simple. He doesn't have the mic skills. Let's be honest. He doesn't. He has a good moveset, but just can't connect with the fans. And that's the problem here. He just can't seem to connect anywhere. And I was at WrestleMania. They booed him out of Levi's Stadium. Let me tell you that.
Well, again, it's just something I don't understand, but now for this segment where he's talking about it and having the Big Show actually come on the Titantron, kind of a quick I'm trying to think of the word, the fans joining the bandwagon, as it were. They went from booing Roman Reigns to cheering Roman Reigns, all because of the Big Show, and we definitely heard a loud, as Big Show was attacking Roman Reigns on the staging area, a loud chant of "please retire" from the UK crowd. So that UK crowd, very, very vocal, to say the least. Probably just as vocal as your San Francisco crowd there, Will. I'm pretty sure you're chomping at the bit for that one. Now, Randy Orton and Cesaro. On paper, this has the ability to be a very good match. And honestly, James, this had a BS ending. James?
As he's somewhere.
All right, well, Lance,
what match are we talking about?
we're talking about the ending, the first ending with Randy Orton and Cesaro. On paper, this had the ability to be a really good match, and it just had an incredibly BS ending.
What you expect? The tag team champions always stick together, and it's basically teasing the fans. Oh, like, Cesaro's a good competitor. Oh, you know what? We're gonna add Tyson Kidd to this match. I mean, Tyson Kidd's a workhorse, but I don't think he should be involved in this, Yeah.
Well, anyway, Kane would come out and actually restart the match as a handicap match. Tyson Kidd and Cesaro taking on Randy Orton, as the host of Hardcore Wrestling Radio, Rick Head, has joined us for the review. And I think, Rick, the way that they executed this 2-on-1 handicap match actually was better for for everyone in that aspect, because it made both Tyson Kidd, Cesaro, and Randy Orton look really good because they had a really strong match with these guys.
I tend to disagree because if you really think about it, Tyson and Cesaro are the tag team champions, and they lost to Randy Orton. So how does that make them look good?
Well, they get to work with a guy like Randy Orton who's really upper card status, to say the least. And Kidd and Cesaro, they've basically just been maybe mid-card to upper mid-card as of late. And getting to work with someone like Randy Orton like that, I think was a good thing when it comes to that. Now, I can understand with us, everyone, the Raw being in the UK, the inclusion of Adam Rose. I mean, you know, they attempt to turn the guy heel. They flushed that idea down the toilet, and Adam Rose has just been what I'd like to call lost in the mid-card shuffle in the WWE. He really hasn't gone anywhere or done absolutely anything. Well, we're going to get to Fandango when we get to that, because something interesting happened with that I think, in my mind, is a positive move for WWE and positive move for Fandango in a sense. But anyway, to Dean Ambrose and Adam Rose, this was just cut and dry. Adam Rose hitting dirty deeds on Adam Rose to pick up the win. And now we would have the sinister... I meant to say Dean Ambrose. I apologize. It was a slip of the tongue. I apologize. But now we would have Stardust and Fandango. Stardust would win with the disaster kick, but Will, you've asked to be the first one to actually address what happened after the match with Fandango. So, Will?
Now let me tell you something, UK fans. I don't know how you got in Fandango's head when he took that mic and said he should be not sharing his music with Rosa Mendes, because the question is, who is Rosa Mendes? Yeah, thank you. So what did he do, folks? Took the mic, got on top of the commentary table, said, "Maestro, please," and you had over 25 strong going. If you think about it, go back to 2 years ago after WrestleMania when the Fandangoing craze was first starting to go strong. I mean, at one point, didn't Fandango's theme get on the iTunes top 10 or something like that? It hit number 6 on top of the iTunes list. And let's remember one thing, and I know this is going to hurt Rick just a teeny bit, boss. The only win he got was against Jericho. Yeah, you guys remember that match versus Jericho? For those who don't remember, that was the only match that solidified his career. And other than that, what has he really done? Nothing really. This face turn needed to happen because his career was going nowhere after that win versus Jericho. Let's be honest. If
I can chime in here real quickly, and I understand why they're doing it at this point in time, or because it's the UK fans. Because the UK fans, are going to eat up the whole Fandangoing. But what the question is, what's going to happen next week when he goes to the U.S. and he starts doing this? I think this is going to fizzle out very quickly as far as it popped up. So I don't see this lasting long.
Well, if WWE actually executes this properly and does it really well, unlike what they did the first time with it, because WWE had a prime opportunity to capitalize on the popularity of Fandangoing, and they never followed through with it. If they can use this to successfully turn Fandango face and start making Fandangoing extremely popular again, then I think they have a prime opportunity to really see a star shining in Fandango. But it's all about the execution. If the execution isn't there, then the face turn and the Fandangoing will unfortunately fizzle out, in my opinion. But anyway, we would follow up with Kane and Seth Rollins. This one had my head hurting because of the fact that we'd had so many different possibilities. You know, we would have one angle where Rollins is saying that Kane has to lie down and looked like he was going to do it at first, and he looks like he was going to turn on him, leave the authority, and attack him. He ends up chokeslamming Seth Rollins, and then before he would do anything else, he would lie down and roll Rollins on top of him, allowing him to pick up the win. And I honestly, Rick, don't know what to think about this.
You know, what does this say about our champion? Because Kane pretty much, you know, could show that not only could he destroy the champion, but he's like, okay, fine, I'm going to give you a win, and then I'm going to walk out, and the champion's still out cold on the floor. And it's just like, really? It's pathetic. I mean, you know, the sad thing is that, you know, Seth Rollins is a great wrestler, and that this just could have been a great match. We could have seen, you know, Kane come out and say, you know what, screw you, I'm not lying down. We could see these two go back and forth, fight, and have Seth Rollins get the win straight up. I would like to see Seth Rollins do it that way, where he's going to, you know, do what he's been doing all along, saying, you know, try to try to get out of match after match after match, but still, regardless, get the win one way or another, and that would have been the proper way to do it.
The Miz, Damian Mizdow 2 was a complete 180 from the first match that he had with the complete different outcome. Although it was the same finish, it was a schoolboy, but this time it was Mizdow pulling off the same thing to the Miz to pick up the win. So now they're 1-1, and a lot of people will probably come to would assume now that we're going to have a rubber match, probably at Extreme Rules, if anything, and possibly with a stipulation. It's something I would like to see. But following that, go ahead.
I want to say this. I want to see that, but at the same time, it goes to Paige. How long is that movie with her and Miz, with Paige and Miz being out? We don't know how long.
Wait, do you mean Summer Rae and Miz?
No. It's going to film another movie. That's why Paige got attacked and quote injured. There's a new movie that they filmed. It's going to be a Christmas movie. It's called Sandra's Little Helper.
Can you guys talk about the next match real quick? Luke Harper and Ryback. Rick, can you talk about that one? Hello?
Yeah, you know what? This was actually probably one of the better matches on the card.
It's not here right now. Okay.
I don't really...
All right, bye. I was Don with complete.
Give me a second, as I don't even have that. You know, I remember that Luke Harper actually got the win as the match went outside the match, and that Luke...
No, it wasn't Luke Harper getting the win. It was Harper getting disqualified by using the announcer table.
Using the announce table. Thank you. And the match was actually kind of short, if I'm not mistaken. And this is where Dean Ambrose had come down, and this is where these two had actually started the fight. And I think they're setting up a match for Extreme Rules.
Oh, yes. And they did a lot of that during this week's Monday Night Raw. A lot of setting up for Extreme Rules. But following that, guys and gals, Dolph Ziggler would issue an open challenge. And man, oh man, talk about someone answering it. Neville, the man that gravity forgot, accepted the challenge of Dolph Ziggler. And by far, hands down, Lance, this was match of the night. Because so far, ever since Neville has moved up to that main roster, he has done nothing but impress, and working with someone like Dolph Ziggler, that was a 5-star match right there.
Oh, most definitely. I'm just a little concerned that Neville's been losing a little too much lately since his debut. I'm just 1-3, I believe. I'm a little concerned about that, but other than that, phenomenal match. There's nothing else on this card that could actually touch that.
Yeah, how about that spot on the outside, the guardrail, the 450 to Dolph Ziggler? That was a thing of beauty to see.
Oh,
It
my
was.
God.
Yeah. You know what? When I saw that, it looked like he might have actually hurt himself, but I think he actually sucked that in.
Yeah, it did. But yeah, the Ziggler would pick up the win with the zigzag, and then Sheamus would come out and attack Dolph Ziggler. Would hit the bro kick on Neville, and then ultimately on the outside do the exact same thing, Dolph Ziggler. So again, possibly, I would say most definitely another build for another match possibly to happen at Extreme Rules between Sheamus and Dolph Ziggler, and that would be something that we would have to see. And then finally we would have, the big speculation. Kane has allowed both Seth Rollins and Randy Orton to both pick a stipulation for their match at Extreme Rules for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. And I thought it was kind of weird, but, Seth Rollins would kind of play the heelish part by banning the RKO from Randy Orton's moveset for the match, and then Randy Orton making it a steel cage match. So, in essence, Randy Orton can't use the RKO, but it's also inside of a steel cage. I don't know. I don't know how to react to that, Will. What are your thoughts about that?
And this is just one of those things that Seth Rollins will just use anything to his advantage to make sure Randy Orton doesn't use the RK go to Extreme Rules. But then what boggles me more is steel cage. You're basically eliminating JJ Security from coming in the steel cage. So with all that said and done, I mean, you could say Seth Rollins is at a little advantage, but let's quote right here. Since Seth Rollins has been on the scene in WWE, has he been good in the steel cage match? Has he even participated in the steel cage match, unlike Orton? I don't recall, but I look forward to seeing this match, but Randy Orton's at a disadvantage. Sorry. Unless a miracle happens or Randy Orton finds a new move, I don't know.
One thing that was brought up by Cartman on the commentary last night is possibly the punt. Could they bring the punt into play for the steel cage match for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship?
That's something I forgot about. I mean, I thought WWE outlawed that move, but it was something that was outlawed by Vicky Guerrero at the time when she was general manager. But you're right, though. I haven't heard that since she left, so that brings a great possibility.
Overall score, Monday Night Raw this week's going to get a 3.5 out of 5. Of course, best match of the night. Hands down, has to go to Neville and Dolph Ziggler. That was an amazing match. And again, Neville is just, regardless of winning or losing, he is going out there and consistently putting on awesome matches. And to me, I think that's what counts just as well as wins in my mind in the wrestling industry, is how well you can work the crowd and how good are your matches. And so far, Neville has been putting on amazing matches. And correct me if I'm wrong, Lance, he has 2 wins over Curtis Axel. His debut, and then he did one on his debut on SmackDown where he beat Curtis Axel again. So he has 2 wins.
Okay, there's my problem. I don't watch SmackDown.
Okay, yeah. But anyway, like I said, he's going out there and consistently putting on amazing, entertaining matches, and I think that counts just as much as winning the matches, in my opinion. Worst match of the night, I hate to say it, but the Lucha Dragons and the Ascension. Based on the fact that when they had their NXT Tag Team Championship match and how well that match was worked, this match was just a slap in the face of that match. Because basically the Ascension got squashed. I mean, the Ascension and the Lucha Dragons has such a good rivalry for the NXT Tag Team Championship. And then they go out there and basically the Lucha Dragons the Ascension just gets manhandled by the Lucha Dragons in like less than 5 minutes. It was ridiculous, in my opinion. They could have had a much better tag team match than what they did last night on Raw, and I'm thoroughly disappointed that WWE Creative decided to say, oh, you guys are going to go out there and in less than 5 minutes you're going to squash the Ascension. Regardless of the fact they had amazing matches in NXT for the NXT Tag Team Championship. That is my gripe with that. But then again, that's just my opinion. But anyway, let's go to Rick next, get his overall score and his picks for best and worst match or segment of Monday Night Raw this week. Rick?
Well, I have to agree with you with the score. Raw was pleasantly nice, considering it was taped. I'll definitely have to give it a 3.5. And definitely the best match of the night was the main event, which was Neville versus Dolph Ziggler. And I do have to agree with you. Right now, Neville's career in Raw right now, or I'll have to say in the main roster, is still very, very early. So even though he's going to lose his matches, which is going to happen, he's not going to come right out of the gun and just start winning matches and winning matches and winning matches, especially coming from NXT. Just not going to happen, guys. So we're going to have to see him lose more matches. He's going to have to earn his, earn his way, unfortunately.
But would you say the fact that he's going out there every week and consistently putting on entertaining matches actually helps and more than hurts?
Absolutely. I have to agree with you 100%. Absolutely. So, and you know what? With that and the fans cheering for him, he's going to start pushing him, getting high up the ranks a lot quicker. As far as the worst match of the night, the NXT matches with the Lucha Dragons and the Ascension, or as I like to call him, the LOD crack babies, that was just them saying, hey, look, there's two NXT tag teams. Now we're going to show which one is going to rise up. And it's obviously to show the Lucha Dragons. The Lucha Dragons are far more entertaining to watch. When you can leave the NXT and come up to the roster, everything that you did in NXT is gone. It's wiped. Period. The NXT, and I argued with this with Joe, and I have to admit, I'm starting to admit it, NXT is a glorified indie wrestling company. Period. Even though it's run by WWE, it is a glorified indie company. And when you come up to the main roster, they say, forget what you learned. Now you got to start playing by our rules. And that's something, Billy, that even you have to come to accept.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why one of the things I'm always kept saying is I hope when the NXT guys get called up to the main roster, they don't get lost in that mid-card shuffle because it's been happening a lot. It's happened to Fandango. It's happened to Adam Rose. It's happened to Paige. It happened to Emma. All of these great NXT talents that were amazing in NXT, they get called up to the main roster and they get lost in that mid-card shuffle. And that's the one thing I don't want to happen to Neville, because Neville is far too talented, in my opinion, to get lost in that mid-card shuffle.
True. But before you go on to the next person, there is someone who didn't get lost in the mid-card shuffle. Seth Rollins.
Yeah.
He was from NXT, It's just a matter of how you do it and what steps you got to take. It's going to take time, so that's it.
All right, Lance, over to you. What's your overall score and your pick for best and worst match or segment of Monday Night Raw this week?
I don't know if it was the fact that it was taped or something. It just was missing something for me. I don't know what it was, but I got to give it a 2.75. It just didn't quite crack that 3 for me. Best match, I got to give it to Neville and Ziggler. Worst, honestly, I got to give it to Lucha Dragons. Worst segment is got to be when Ambrose jumped
Harper?
Rollins. Who did Ambrose jump again?
Luke Harper.
I can see Harper because in the call we were in last night, we started talking about, hey, they're when Luke Harper and Ambrose were wearing the same clothes. To me, if we're talking more about the guys closing the angle, something ain't right there.
Well, yeah. Well, anyway.
So, 2.75.
Yeah. Anyway, as we start talking fashion here on WGS-TV, let's go to James next, who's the king of fashion, and get his overall score and his picks for best and worst match or segment of Monday Night Raw this week. I know I'm going to get fire back for that.
You know that duck doing the fandango dance behind you? Right?
Oh, God. Is that why he's going quack, quack, quack,
What
quack,
kind of
quack,
duck
quack?
Correct. Yeah, exactly. Anyway, I agree with Lance here. Raw was missing something that it couldn't get. So I have to give it a 2.75 out of 5. Best match is the main event. Like, worst, I'll give it a tie between, well, let's call it a 3-way tie. Honorable mentions. I say that. Yes, I'm stealing your gimmick, sucker. All right. The worst, I would say, Adam Rose, indeed Amos, with the honorable mentions to the Divas Battle Royal, even though the ending was kind of like surprising, and the Lucha Dragons match. The worst segment, I would say the whole Seth Rollins, Kane, Big Show, the Authority backstage. Best segment, an honorable mention to Bray Wyatt's creepy promo, because we still don't know what the hell who's talking about.
Exactly, and that's what adds to the uniqueness of Bray Wyatt, especially because we don't know who he's talking to. Now, when it was leading up until Wrestle... Go ahead.
He's one of those few NXT stars that, you know... Yeah, he's
Hello?
up there. He kind of gets lost in the mid-card shuffle, but at the same time, he has a uniqueness. The Shield had the uniqueness. The Bray Wyatt had the uniqueness. Paige.
Goodbye.
Okay, Paige had... I don't know what Lance is doing there, but Paige had a uniqueness.
Billy's being currently stalked by his prostitute.
Shut up, Rick.
Anyway, this is just... It's just like...
Billy, did you allow Stalker to kind of, bounce again?
Shut up. I can neither confirm nor deny that last statement.
Was that the Godfather calling you to tell you to pay his girls?
I can deny that last statement. Can we get on with the review, please?
All right, moving on. MVP, go.
All right, MVP, your overall score. Your overall score?
Let's go. I have to give this one a 3.2 out of 5. Best match, I'm jumping on board. Neville Ziggler. Best match. Worst match? Yeah, I'm going to jump on board. I mean, they made the Lucha Dragons strong, and they made the LOD crack babies look like ketchup and tar paste go straight to hell on their faces. But the Ascension is garbage. I'm just sorry. This was nowhere near an impressive matches like they had at NXT. Now, whoever writes this stuff really needs their head examined or have some Lunchables for lunch, because it was a crap match.
Lunchables for lunch.
Millions of dollars.
Now, I got 2 honorable mentions. Prime-time players making fun of Los Matadores. That wasn't El Torito. That looked like a 200-pound My Little Pony colored in pink and blue. What kind of fucking thing was that?
Remember, Derek Young's favorite color is rainbow.
I don't give a fuck what that is. That looked like Crayola and Waterworks touring up a poor dog. Now, I have to show this to the folks.
Oh, God.
Yes. I have to do it, folks. It had to happen.
See?
It had to happen.
That Fandango kind of kicked Rick off the call. Just left. He said, screw you guys.
Yeah,
The fact of the matter is, I hate to be repetitive, but best segment, Fandango finally turning face after 2 years worth of nothing. That's it.
Now, I asked one of you guys if y'all could try to get Rick back here on this call. what we're gonna say for at this moment in time is what we want to know from you guys. The call did kick him off. So if one of you guys can get him back, he said he's ready. And while we're trying to get Rick back, guys and gals, what we want to know from you guys out there, the viewers and subscribers, your thoughts on Monday Night Raw this week. What are your overall scores? What are your picks for best and worst match or segment of Monday Night Raw this week? We definitely want to know what you guys out there have to say. Be sure you put your comments in the comment section below. Don't forget to like and favorite this video. Where can fans check you out on HWR?
Of course, you can always find me on my Facebook page. That's facebook.com/Hardcore Wrestling Radio.
Rick needs to adjust his microphone.
Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you. We can hear you on a different microphone.
Oh, shit. Hold on 1 second.
It sounds like you're in the hallway.
Yeah.
Hold on. I'm installing a new microphone, so if you want to check us out on our Facebook page. That's facebook.com/Hardcore Wrestling Radio. And if you ever want to listen to any of our podcasts, check us out on youtube.com/HWR Show.
Also guaranteed on his podcast to have his microphone properly working, guys and gals. So be sure you check him out. And Lance, what can fans expect to see when they come visit your channel over on youtube.com/LanceMossTV?
Album reviews, NASCAR discussion videos, redneck woman cooking videos, musical equipment reviews, some rants, the archives of controversies and scandals, and yes, you can also see me over at Hardcore Wrestling Radio as well. And well, hit him on Twitter, it's at LanceMossTV.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, one of them is going to cosplay as Fandango. The other one was going to build a statue made out of hamburger meat of Fandango in a cosplaying outfit. It's the Bay Area MVP known as Will and James and the Big Easy. Guys, you got anything coming up?
Well, the only thing I got to say is cheeseburger meat is never fun. Folks, if you don't cook your meat right, expect a visit to the ER. Respectively, you can find us at soundcloud.com/HWR Show. I do in the news. And this Wednesday, starting tomorrow, I'll be, oh boy, do I got a show for you guys tomorrow. Tune on in, because tomorrow I'm going live for HWR The News. We got topics, we got funny laughter, and just like the HWR promo, we draw the lot. We don't do F-bombs, but we sure got the pipe bombs, or however Rick does it. But it's going to be a fun one, so tune in. James?
You can find me at twitch.tv/FatBoy504 to do PS4 gameplay. I am on Twitter at FatBoy504, and I am on YouTube.com/JTZ70129. Where I do randomness. Randomness, I say.
Yeah, quite random. Fans, WGS-TV is on social media on Facebook, facebook.com/WGS. Shut up. On Facebook at facebook.com/WGS-TV, on Twitter at The WrestleGamer, Instagram at The WrestleGamer. So be sure you check us out on social media. And if you haven't yet, please subscribe to youtube.com/WrestleGamer for more content like this, and check out all of my Let's Plays, which can be seen in the annotations at the end of this video, and the links to them will be in the description box below. So with that being said, for the hardcore host of Hardcore Wrestling Radio, Rick Kidd, the incomparable Lance Moss of Lance Moss TV, the Bay Area MVP known as Will, and our friend James and Big Easy, I'm the Wrestle Gamer, Don't Be Billy Bujo, saying we'll see ya at the next Warp Zone.
That's why we get along so well.
Oh, brother. Can't have the game. Put up massive. Okay, so we got